snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys, so I am here today to do a gigantic book haul. I might have to split this video into two parts, or we'll see how I go, because I think there's like over 40 books, which is quite a lot. Okay, so I'm going to start off with some graphic novels. I have one that is still on the way to me and one book that's still on the way to me, so I'm going to just tell you about them and I'll put in a picture of them, but all of the others are physical books that I'm going to show you guys. I do have some on my Kindle and stuff that I picked up recently, but I might have to do a whole other video for them because I think I've got quite a few. So let's get started with this one. So I recently picked up East of West, which is the first volume in this graphic novel series. I've seen this around. It's by Hickman, Dragota and Martin, and I'm very excited to get into this because I actually don't know much about graphic novels. I don't like to know very much about them when I pick them up. I like to just sort of go into them and discover it as I go. I think that's the best way. The art style on this book is really, really beautiful. I love the gradient that they do on some of the pages, on the backdrops and things like that, it's not just a solid colour, it does seem to have gradients and things like that. So it's a really, really nice looking book. As you guys can see, it's quite bright. But I'm very excited. I'm guessing it's something to do with... no, I don't even know. I think it's science fiction. So, on the back, it literally just says, "We would tell you to pray, but it wouldn't do any good. You have earned what is coming to you." And then there's a little strange, like, triangle thing. I'm really, really excited to get into this because I've heard a lot of good things about this series on BookTube, and I've seen this one around, so I thought it was about time that I picked it up. Next, I picked up Lazarus Volume 1, which is by Rucker, Lark and Arcus. Again, I don't really know an awful lot about this. The world now lies divided, not amongst political or geographical boundaries, but amongst financial ones. Wealth is power, and that power rests now with only a handful of families. A few who provide the service for their ruling family are cared for. All others are waste. In each family there is one person given the best they can offer, training, technology, assets, every scientific advantage. This person is named that family's sword and shield, their protector, their Lazarus. In the family Carlisle, the Lazarus is called Forever. This is the beginning of her story. So I'm really intrigued about this one. There seems to be a lot of blood and gore at the beginning, so I won't show you all of the beginning, but yeah, it seems a little bit dark, and the world, the whole sort of dystopian feeling sounds really interesting, so I'm very excited to give this a go. Again, it's one that I have seen in the bookshops floating around, and I've wanted for a while, but I've not known very much about it. I think this could be a fairly dark one, but I'm excited to give it a go. Then I have one that I completely took a chance on. I've got no idea about this. I've never heard of it, I've never seen it anywhere, don't know anything about it. I just know that it is called Prophet, and it's Volume 1 called Remission by Graham. And this one I don't know a lot about at all. I just know that I liked the cover. It looks really cool. It's kind of a face, if you guys can see down here, and then someone diving into the face. It's a bit weird. But yeah, there's all these beautiful stars in the front, so that instantly got me hooked. Some of the artwork at the back, they just show you how it was made and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm really, really excited to give this a go. It seems like they've got some really fancy and cool colour schemes, so that should be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. On distant future Earth, changed by time and alien influence, John Prophet awakes from cryo-sleep. His mission to climb the towers of Thaluvar and awaken the Earth Empire. So, sounds pretty cool, sounds exciting, and fairly chunky one this one, so I'm looking forward to it. And then probably the most well known out of all of them on BookTube is The Wicked and the Divine Volume 1 by Gillam, McKelvey, Wilson and Cowles. I don't know an awful lot about it, I like to go in blind. This one is really, really chunky for a graphic novel, like first volume, so that's cool. And I love the artwork of this. It's really, really clean, really defined, very, very beautiful. All of the issues have a kind of face at the start of them, which is so cool, so I'm really, really looking forward to this. I've heard really good things on BookTube many, many times, so I'm hoping I will really love it. Every 90 years, 12 gods return as young people. They are loved, they are hated, in 2 years they are all dead. It's happening now, it's happening again. Really, really cool. Gods in books, and just the artwork of this is absolutely stunning, so I can't wait to give this a go and hopefully really, really enjoy it. If you guys know anything about any of these graphic novels, then let me know, because I'd love to hear your thoughts, but please don't spoil them. Hopefully I'll get to them really soon and be caught up with you guys. And then the last graphic novel that I'm waiting on came out last week, but it's not arrived at my house yet, is Volume 1 of Lumberjanes, and I'm very excited about this because I've heard a lot of good things from Elizabeth at Books and Pieces and Amanda at Amanda Eggle, so I'm going to link both of their channels below. But yeah, they're amazing and they have both said that they really love this, so I think it's going to be exciting and I cannot wait to give it a try. So I've already pre-ordered it. It just hasn't shown up yet, so as soon as it does I will probably be fitting that one into my schedule as well. Now on to the books. So I have a lot of books, so I think I'm going to do one stack in this video and then I'll do the other 2 stacks in another video. So let's get started. The first book is the one that I'm waiting on, so I'm going to show you guys that one first as a picture, and that one is The Diary of Anne Frank by Anne Frank. I've already read this, I adore it. I don't know why I don't have my own edition, so I've ordered one. That's the backstory to that one. If you guys have never heard of Anne Frank, she was a Jew who was in the Second World War. She was kept in hiding with her family for a fairly long time, and while she was in hiding she kept a journal or a diary, and in that she wrote about her experiences, and it's a very frank, no pun intended, very frank sort of diary, and it does tell you a lot about the time. It tells you a lot about her feelings and her emotions and what she went through to try and hide her identity from the Nazis, and it's a really hard-hitting but beautifully written, really inspiring and devastating story. So if you've not read it, I would highly recommend it. I gave it 5 stars when I read it. It's awesome, and yeah, hopefully that one will show up fairly soon. So nearly all of these books are second-hand. I don't tend to buy a lot of new books. Some of them are new just because they were new from second-hand sellers, but most of them are second-hand, so this is going to be a while. So the first book that I have to show you guys is The Museum of Extraordinary Things by Alice Hoffman. This is a really exciting, fairly new release, I think. This is a really lovely cover. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I love the typography on this. I think it's done superbly, and I think that the general design of it looks really cool. So I'm going to read you guys a little bit off the back. It's set in New York City in 1911, and it says, "Meet Coralie. Circus girl, web-fingered mermaid, shy only daughter of Professor Sardi and raised in the bizarre surroundings of his Museum of Extraordinary Things. And meet Eddie Cohen, a handsome young immigrant who has run away from his painful past and his orthodox family to become a photographer, documenting his life on the teeming city streets. One night, by the freezing waters of the Hudson River, Coralie stumbles across Eddie, who has become enmeshed in the case of a missing girl, and the fates of those 2 hopeful outcasts collide as they search for the truth, beauty, love and freedom in tumultuous times." So it sounds like it's kind of a love story, but it's set in a circus. I think I saw this on Jen's channel, Jen Campbell, so I'll put a link to her channel as well down below, because she was talking about books with circuses in, and I think I saw it on there and it just sounded really interesting, and I wanted to try something that was circusy because I do love The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and I've not really read a whole lot of circusy stuff other than maybe Smiler's Fair, which has a kind of travelling band sort of thing in it as well, and I loved both of them, so I'm hoping I'll also really enjoy this. I do think it sounds a little bit romancy, but hopefully that won't be the focal point of the story, and hopefully it'll be really interesting. So next I have a book which is the continuation of the Terry Pratchett's. I've been collecting these editions, as you guys know, and I tend to buy one of them every time I go to Waterstones now, because I tend to go to Waterstones maybe 2 times, 3 times a month. So I picked up Pyramids, which is the latest one that I needed. I haven't read all of them yet, but I'm definitely planning to get through some Terry Pratchett, hopefully in July, and hopefully I'll be able to add quite a lot more of these onto my read shelf, because at the moment I've only got 3 of his read, which is really disappointing because they're really short, really easy to get through, and a lot of fun. The Discworld is a crazy flat planet where all sorts of bizarre things go on, all sorts of characters emerge, and it's just a whole lot of fun to read about, so I can't wait to continue on with the Discworld series and get further and meet more of the characters, because after only 3 books I already have a lot of favourites who are wonderful. Next, I have been told for many years, in fact, that I should try some David Gemmell, and I actually recently picked up The City by his wife, and I really wanted to pick up something by him. A lot of people really give him some high praise, so I haven't read anything by him, so I picked up Legend, which is the classic Drenai novel, apparently. Don't know if this is a good place to start or not, but I'm going to start here because it's the only one of his I have. It says on the back, "His name is Druss. The stories of his life are told everywhere, but the grizzled veteran has spurned a life of fame and fortune and retreated to the solitude of his mountain lair. His home is Dros Delnoch, and it is the only route through the mountains for an army laying waste to the country around them, and Druss will be its last hope. His story is legend." So Very excited to give this a go. I don't think too much of the cover, I will say that. I will hopefully be able to fit this in. Again, it's not too long in terms of fantasy books, so hopefully I can fit it in fairly soon, and I would love to check out some David Gemmell. So now I own this and maybe I'll pick it up soon. Then I've heard a lot of buzz around this author's new book, Seven Eves, and I've not read any of his work, so I picked up Reamed, or Reamed? I think it's called Reamed, I'm not entirely sure, and it's by Neil Stephenson. This book is so much bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's giant, it's very, very heavy, it's over 1,000 pages. I like a good heavy book, so I'm very excited to try out some Neil Stephenson because I've never had any of his books before. I've never read any, but I know a lot of people really, really like his stuff. This one says on the back of it, Richard Fothrast, a multi-millionaire marijuana smuggler, has parlayed his wealth into an empire by developing Terrain, a billion-dollar online role-playing game with legions of fans around the world. But Terrain's success has also made it a target. Hackers have struck gold, unleashing Reamed, a virus that encrypts a player's electronic files and holds them for ransom. Unwittingly, this triggers a deadly war beyond the boundaries of the game's virtual universe, and Richard is caught in the crossfire. I'm really excited about this. I haven't read a lot with hackers and stuff like that, but it's something I'm really interested in and I really enjoy, so hopefully I will really enjoy this one because it's a big one. I'm going to have to dedicate a good solid chunk of time to read this, but again, hopefully I can get to it soon, or at least start it soon, because it looks really exciting. I do love this cover. I think the writing on here is beautiful, so very excited to get to some Neil Stephenson. Hopefully I've made a good decision in starting here. Let me know if I've not. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about this one. And then another giant book that I've got is a bind-up of Mercedes Lackey stuff. And this one is The Mage Winds, which contains the Winds of Fate, Winds of Change, and Winds of Fury. I don't know if this is a good place to start, but I'm going to start here. A Vladimir omnibus, so does that mean that she writes all in one world called Vladimir, but they're all interconnected, or is this a standalone trilogy in that world so I can just read it? If you guys know, let me know, because I don't know an awful lot about her work, but I've been meaning to pick her up and try her for a while. That sounds a bit weird. Try her work for a while. But yeah, this cover is so stunning and I absolutely love it. I love the colour of it. There's pink ones as well, like they do all of her different bind-ups in different colours and they look so cool together, so I wanted to get this edition. But yeah, I don't know an awful lot about it. I think it's fairly classic. High magic was lost to Vladimir centuries ago when the Herald Mage gave his life to save a kingdom from dark sorcery, but now the realm is at risk again and it falls to Princess Elspeth, herald and heir to the throne, to defend it. Abandoning her home, Elspeth seeks a mentor who can awaken her untrained mage abilities and soon learns that others too are being caught up in a war against sorcerous evil. Sounds fairly standard, but it's a pretty chunky book, again over 1,000 pages I think, yes. So it's a large one, but I'm very excited to try out Mercedes Lackey and hopefully I'll really, really enjoy her work. So if you've read anything by her, let me know. Got a lot of these bookmarks from Book Depository as well, so I thought I'd just show you guys them quickly, but I got 5 bookmarks, 2 of which were the same. From Book Depository when I ordered my book, so that's always very exciting. So the next book that I have is Spellwright by Blake Charleston. I can't remember why I picked this one up, but it does say on the front of it, a letter perfect story, absorbing, and that's by Robin Hobb, so that's always high praise. Do you love a good Robin Hobb book? And on the back it also says, an enthralling tale by Terry Brooks, so sounds fairly promising, but it's quite short compared to the ones I just showed you. This one says, Nicodemus Wheel has trained at the stronghold of Starhaven since he was a boy. His mentor, the famous wizard Magister Shannon, taught him how to cast spells made from luminescent magical runes, how to peel written words off a page and make them physically real. Initially, Nicodemus showed great promise, able to forge runes with great speed. He was once thought to be a powerful spellwright, prophesied to prevent the apocalypse known as disjunction. There was only one problem, he couldn't spell. Yeah, I now remember why I picked this up. It sounds really, really interesting. I'm looking forward to this one. It should be a lot of fun. I've not read any of Blake Charleston's stuff before, so I'm very excited to give this a go, and Terry Brooks and Robin Hobb are both very well established, and if they like it then surely it's good, so I can't wait to give that a try. Next I have picked up a YA book, I believe it is, that I've been wanting for a while, and that is Scott Westerfield's Leviathan, which is illustrated by Keith Thompson, and I'm very excited. Let me see if I can find an illustration. So it does have pictures and stuff in it, which is super cool. I do think that this is a steampunkish novel. Two opposing forces on the brink of war, the clankers who put their faith in machinery are squaring up to the Darwinists who have begun evolving living creatures into tools. Prince Alexander, the would-be heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, comes from a family of clankers and travels the country in a walker, a heavily fortified tank on legs. Darren Sharp, a girl disguised as a boy, works for the British Empire, crewing an airship made of living animals, the ultimate flying machine. Now, as Alec runs from his own people and Darren crash lands in enemy territory, their lives are about to collide. I have read Scott Westerfeld's Uglies series a long time ago, really enjoyed it when I was younger, and I've heard a lot of high praise about this series from various different people, and I'm super excited to get into it because I don't tend to read a lot of YA, but there are certain YA authors who I do really enjoy, and Scott Westerfeld does seem to be one of them, so hopefully I'll really enjoy this, and I love the idea, the concept sounds really cool, so I'm definitely going to try and fit this in soon. Next, I have a book that I'm super excited about, and it can go straight onto my read shelf because I've already read this one, and I actually mentioned it earlier, and this is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I picked this one up because I've already read it, as I said, but I had it on my Kindle, and I actually wanted to own my own physical edition of this because it's such a beautiful, stunning book. I gave it 5 stars. It's absolutely breathtaking, which is the quote on the front from the Times as well, but it is breathtaking, it's dazzling, it's enchanting, it's fantastical, it's magical, it's such a good book. If you've not read this and you like circuses and you like magic and you like visual, really rich visual language that's going to really inspire loads of these wonderful images in your head, then this is a story that you guys need to check out because I cannot recommend this highly enough to you guys. It's such a fantastic read. I love it and I would highly recommend you guys checking it out. So yeah, this one's going to go straight on my shelf, right next to Brandon Sanderson. Okay, so the next one I picked up is YALL Genius. This is by Phil and Kaja Foglio. Adventure, romance and mad science. Years after the Industrial Revolution escalated into all-out warfare, Europa is controlled by tyrannical sparks, mad scientists who rule over the hapless population with clockwork armies, bizarre inventions and unchecked power. Another steampunky one, which I've been really getting into recently, if you guys couldn't already guess. Steampunk is certainly something I love, and I'm exploring it a lot more recently, and this one sounds like it's a pretty good one. It's got fairly high reviews from what I've seen, but it's, again, not too long. So I'm really excited to give this a go, and I think there's a few in the series, so if I like it, I'll continue. And yeah, I'm very excited about this. I do love the cover. I think this is a really creepy, beautiful cover, so can't wait to give that a go. Next I have another one which I think is somewhat to do with circuses in some way, I'm not sure. This is called The Hourglass Factory and it's by Lucy Ribchester. Look at that cover, it's just absolutely drop dead stunning, gorgeous, and I love it. It's so beautiful, and I don't think I own any yellow books, so well, I own very few yellow books. I'm really excited to give this a try. It says, meet Ebony Diamond, trapeze artist, tiger tamer, suffragette. Where there is trouble, she is never far away, but now she's the one in trouble and she's up to her neck in it. Enter Frankie George, tomboy, cub reporter, chippy upstart. She's determined to make her name on the London Evening Gazette, if only someone will give her a chance. Then Ebony disappears during a performance at the London Coliseum, and Frankie jumps at the chance to find out what happened. How did Ebony vanish? Who was she afraid of? And what goes on behind the doors of the mysterious Hourglass Factory. So this one sounds a little bit like a detective-y story, but again it's set in a kind of circuses and steampunk definitely seemed to be on my mind when I was buying these books. But I'm really excited to give it a go. I've seen this one floating around recently. I don't know if it's a new release or if it's just very popular at the moment. It did come out this year, so yeah, it's a new release and I'm really excited to give it a try. So if you've heard anything about this one, let me know because I haven't heard an awful lot. But it sounds really interesting as a premise, so can't wait to give it a go, and I do love the cover. Next, I have a book which I definitely know is new. This one actually came wrapped up, so that's obviously very nice. This one is called Bronze Gods, an Apparatus Infernum novel, and I think it's by A.A. Aguirre, I'm not sure how you say it. Again, I believe this is a steampunk one. On the back it says, Janice Mikani and Celeste Ritsuko work all hours in the Criminal Investigation Division, keeping the citizens of Dorstad safe. He's a charming rogue with fey blood and an uncanny sixth sense. She's all logic, but the first female inspector. Between them, they collar more criminals than any other partnership in the CID. Then they are assigned to a potentially volatile case where one misstep could end their careers. The daughter of one of the great houses is found murdered, her body charred to cinders by an intricate and deadly device. A ruthless killer is stalking the gaslit streets, weaving blood and magic into the lethal ritual that could mean the end of everything they hold dear. So again, steampunky crime sort of crossover. The cover of this one again is very, very beautiful, and I absolutely am looking forward to this. So I'm just sort of collecting a lot of steampunkish ones that hopefully I'll really, really enjoy, and this is one of them. So can't wait to give it a go. Again, let me know your thoughts if you've read it. I'm going to show you guys 2 more books in this haul, and then I'm going to film part 2. So the penultimate book is The Night Watch, and this is by Sergei Lukyanenko. Oh, I'm so bad at names. It says on the front from the Daily Telegraph, J.K. Rowling Russian style, a cracking read. So that sounds promising. I do love a good Harry Potter, and if this is a Russian version of Harry Potter, I'm into it. Walking the streets of Moscow, indistinguishable from the rest of its population, are the Others, possessors of supernatural powers and capable of entering the Twilight, a shadowy world that exists in a parallel to our own. Each Other owes allegiance either to the dark or the light. The Night Watch, first book in the Night Watch trilogy, follows Anton, a young Other owing allegiance to the light. As a Night Watch agent, he must patrol the streets and metro of the city, protecting ordinary people from the vampires and magicians of the dark. More supernatural, paranormal, which is interesting. It's quite a chunky one, so I'm definitely excited to give it a go. And again, I believe this series has been out for quite a while. I believe a lot of people have read it, but I've not read it, and I'm very excited to give it a go, especially if it's kind of a J.K. Rowling-esque, because that's always promising. And the last book I'm going to show you guys in this haul is The Affinity Bridge, which is by George Mann, and it says it's a Newbery and Hobbs investigation book. I've seen this floating around on Amazon so many times, and I've wanted to pick it up for a while because the cover is just stunning. That blimp on the cover is just beautiful, and there's all of these glittery things going on. Again, I think it's a kind of steampunky one. It's got like little gears and stuff down here. It's just all these little signs down the edge. It's very, very cool as a cover. Welcome to the bizarre and dangerous world of Victorian London, a city teetering on the edge of revolution. Its people are ushering in a new era of technology, dazzled each day by new inventions. Airships soar in the skies over the city, whilst ground trains rumble through the streets. And clockwork automatons are programmed to carry out menial tasks in the offices of lawyers, policemen, and journalists. But beneath this shiny veneer of progress lurks the sinister side. For this is also a world where ghostly policemen haunt the fog-laden alleyways of Whitechapel, where cadavers can rise from the dead, and where Sir Maurice Newbery, gentleman inspector for the Crown, works tirelessly to protect the Empire from her foes. So this one kind of reminds me a little bit of The Spring-Heeled Jack by Mark Hodder, which I absolutely adored when I read it earlier this year, and I'm going to be continuing with that series soon, so hopefully this one's kind of in the same vein, and hopefully I'll really like it. I am really into Victorian England and that sort of era. That is the final book in this part of the haul. I'm then going to film part 2 in a moment, so yeah, hopefully I will have that one up in the next few days if it's not up already. Let me know your thoughts on any of the books that I've mentioned, if you've read any of them, if you've heard about any of them. Please let me know your thoughts and which ones you want me to read first. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all very, very soon in another video. Bye! Me and you gonna have a little chat.